welcome. I'm so excited to introduce a client of mine, Miss Jennifer Anderson. She's a transformational life coach who helps women in midlife stop overthinking, set real boundaries, and finally feel confident in their own skin. Her framework, Beliefs and Boundaries Equals Bliss, has been life changing for the women she works with. But like a lot of incredible coaches like Jennifer, she's had the skills, the certifications, and the heart, but she was struggling to get traction online. She wasn't reaching as many of the right people as she wanted and felt a little overwhelmed by social media. We now work together, and what you're going to hear now is how we work together to simplify her strategy, clarify her message, and start generating real momentum for her content. I'm so excited to bring Jennifer on. Jennifer, welcome, welcome, welcome. Thanks for joining me today.
Thank you, Lindsay. I'm excited to be here. This is fun.
Yes. So, can you tell me just a little bit about what was going on in your business before we started to work together?
Yeah, I mean, it was good, right? I was doing all the things and I have clients. It wasn't that I didn't have clients, I had clients and I was working with other coaches and they were phenomenal coaches. Like they were great business coaches, but a lot of it was just the mindset. And I've got the mindset. Like I'm good there. So for me, it was really about how do I really get in front of the right people? How do I do this and make my message come across to where people want to talk to me? They're ready to work with me. They're excited about it and they're ready to make that change in their life. So it was just, I felt like I was throwing spaghetti against the wall and seeing what stuck. And some things did. It wasn't bad. I was just ready for the next level. And
Yeah, it's
so that's what
almost
we're
like if you
doing.
got in front of the right people, you had no problems getting yes, but we just need to get in front of more of those right people. Is that
Absolutely.
right?
Yeah.
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 So, are there a couple of things? I know you've been doing this for quite a while, and no doubt you've tried other things. Have you tried some other things before that didn't necessarily work?
Yeah, I mean, I had a couple business coaches that were, this was a few years ago, like when I first started, that were great, phenomenal people, but their tactics didn't ever feel like they were in aligned with what I was doing. And I felt like I was doing things like cold calling and different things that just didn't feel like me. Or I remember this one where I put a signature on an email and I was like, love and blessings and something, it was just all frilly and fun. And this coach was like, "Oh no, you cannot put that. Like it's got to be really formal and businesslike." And I was like, "Oh, but that's not me. Even when I worked in an office, I wasn't that way. I answered the phone with a smile and I was just genuinely me." And I thought, this isn't me. And so I worked with her for the 90 days and I just was like, I'm taking everything she taught me and I'm keeping the things that worked or the things that felt right. And I gave the rest back. I was just like, energetically, you can have it all back because it's not there.
You were
So
really
yeah,
looking for a strategy that you could resonate with, that you knew could
yes,
bring in clients, and that you were comfortable with.
yes,
Yes.
yes.
Okay, so after we started working together, was there a moment that made you realize that the way that we kind of approach content and client generation was different than other things that you've experienced in the past?
Well, I think it was when the engagement started happening. I mean, I kind of got it from the beginning. I've honestly been following you for the whole time I've been in business. You are one of the first people I found online when I first started. So I've popped in and out of your things and followed you. But when you did that sales machine, which is what I think you're doing right now, when you did that and I was in it a few months ago, it all hit. It was just like, this is what I need. I need to figure out a way to work with Lindsay. And so when I did your free call, and that was the best call I've ever done because I did that and you didn't even try to sell me. Like it was beautiful. You were just telling me and giving me value and helping me. And I was like, I want to work with you. Tell me, give it to me. And I was like pulling it out of you. But that's really when it started clicking that this was going to work. It just felt easier. It didn't feel like, oh, I'm going to have to do this or I'm going to have to do that. And even with the things that we talk about, and you're like, okay, we need to focus on the 25, the 50, and the 5. And I'm like, okay, but I can do it. I can make it my own and still make it work. And that's really, I mean, I can't pinpoint any specific thing other than it felt right to me.
I love that. I love that. And I want to hit on that 25-55 because I know that we've talked through that and you dive into that strategy and now you have people coming to your invite only
Yeah.
event and it seems like you have a real straight path ahead to creating good conversations. You have people reaching out, you have consistent content going out there. Can you tell me a little bit about how you feel approaching your business now that you have a straight path forward like that?
Well, I actually have more time. I mean, the
Oh,
fact that you're doing the content for me, that took so much off my plate.
yeah.
And that has made it easier to go, oh, yeah, I have energy and I have the capacity to reach out to people, to sit and have these conversations and be on social media. Where before it was like, okay, I have to figure out my content and I need to get it posted and I don't want to look at it again.
How are you approaching content before we met?
Really from a place of whatever felt good in the moment. I mean,
Yeah.
years ago I was planning it all out and doing all, but that was more than this girl could handle. So it kind of became this thing where when I felt good in the moment, I posted something. And yeah, they worked a little. And now the beautiful thing is you guys take care of that. And then I still get to do what I feel in the moment.
Yeah.
So if there's a day where I'm like, "Oh, this is how I'm feeling," I can still go share it. And it's not this big deal. It's just like, and my audience is more like, "Oh, you seem really in aligned with what you're like." They don't know the word aligned, but they're like, "Oh, what you're doing, it's just really flowing and you seem like it's always like you seem to really love what you're doing." And I wasn't really getting that before.
I love that. I love that. And tell us again, how does it feel to have like professional content scheduled from us kind of interviewing you for an hour a month? Do you feel like it's you? Do you feel like it comes across professionally? Tell me a little bit about how you feel about the process.
I absolutely love it. I honestly, yes, I was very nervous the first time, and there's maybe still a little jitters because you always want to put your best foot out there, right? You always want to look your best. So, there's always a little something where I'm like, oh, what's this gonna be like today? But it's simple. You make it so easy. And there's no judgment, there's no criticism, there's no harshness. It's all this beautiful, oh, let's reframe it this way or let's look at it from this angle. And it's so easy. And probably the biggest compliment that I have gotten, but it's really, well, it's for both of us, let's put it that way, is that one of my, I call her one of my business besties, said to me about 3 weeks into this, she said, your videos are so lit right now. She said she didn't even know what I was doing. Like I told her, but she really didn't realize. She said, you look comfortable. You are on point. She's like, the whole thing, the camera work, the whole thing. And I was like, well, that's because I'm doing this. And then she realized what was happening. And she was like, oh, well, it's perfect. And you need to keep doing it.
I love that. Now, towards like the very beginning when we started working together, as we kind of brought you into the process, and we have a very methodical way of kind
Mhm.
of gathering information and putting you through the system to make sure that we have all of our bases covered. And I felt like you were really inspired by that. Like you had made a couple of comments. Can you speak to that a little bit?
Yeah. Well, again, it's because it was easy. I think for me, the beginning of my business felt so hard that
Yeah.
anytime I can find something easy, it is inspiring. And I had a coach one time tell me, she was more of a less of a business coach at the time and more of like just a mindset. And she just kept saying, it shouldn't be that hard. Just let it be easy. Do what comes naturally. And I've always been this doer, like this little worker bee. And I'm like, but that doesn't come naturally. So I think the beginning process was great because well, number one, I didn't know what to expect. And I had been looking for a process and a system like this and thought I had found it a couple times before, but then that wasn't it. So it felt like, to me, it felt like coming home. It was like, okay, I finally found it. I can put my shoulders down. I can relax. I got this.
Yeah. How does it feel? How does it feel to have professional content that sounds like you going out 5 days a week without you having to wake up and figure out how to do that for yourself?
That's the dream right there. That's the dream. That has been what I've looked for pretty much the whole time, because social media is not my jam. I mean, I tell people all the time I wouldn't be on Facebook if I wasn't running a business.
Yeah.
I just wouldn't be. And so it's a relief is really what it is. It's like giving me back my time to really focus in on my clients and do the things that I'm good at doing for them.
So good. Can you speak just a little bit to, it's more than just kind of posting content. We talk a lot about strategy and a lot about how to utilize the content, the visibility you're getting with the content to actually generate customers. Can you kind of describe how that feels?
Yeah. And it feels, honestly, it feels natural. It feels more like, oh, this is what I was supposed to be doing all along. So just having the conversations and not, I'm not a salesperson and I don't want to be a salesperson, but I want to just really inspire. So here's another thing. So all these limiting beliefs kind of have come full circle in what we're doing, because I had another coach tell me it's great to inspire your clients, but that's not how they're going to buy from you. And I get what she's saying, but yet my clients need the inspiration. They need someone who sees them and understands them in that way and is going to fully inspire them to do better. So for me, it's been a much more of a just a gentle, easy process where I don't have to I don't have to stress over it. I don't have to, you guys do the heavy lifting, and I get to kind of just show up once a month, which really isn't the truth, but I show up once a month. I get on camera and I talk to you and we have this beautiful conversation. And then outside of that, I get to then just talk to people who comment on them and who come into my world and say, like, I had one last week and she goes, she's known me her whole life since she was a baby. And she said, I need to work with you because I'm struggling with some things. So that's a beautiful conversation. And
And
now we
she
get to have a one on one.
and she yeah, so she said that based on your content. She came up out of the
Yes.
blue through your content. Yeah. Yeah.
Yes.
What
And
would you
she's
say
been
to
watching for years, but now she's ready. I think now she understands that I understand where she's at.
I love that. I love that. So it's like this feeling of how did you know what I was thinking?
Yes, and that is what she said. She goes, "I could have written this." And I was like, "Yes, like that's what I
We're
want to
hitting the nail
hear."
on the head on that one. Yeah. I love that. Okay, Jennifer, tell me, what would you say to somebody who's considering working with us but isn't quite sure yet?
Yeah. I would tell them that if they have half of the passion that I do and feel like this is right, like if they have that feeling, it's totally worth it. There is not a dollar amount, and trust me, I struggle with the dollars. I get that. There is not a dollar amount that would keep me at this point from not saying yes to you, because it has been the biggest game changer for me. And really, I mean, since we started working together, and again, I work with a lot of low income people, so I don't charge high rates, but my income has doubled in less than 90 days,
So
probably more
good.
than doubled. So to me, it's well worth it.
So good. If you had to sum it up in one sentence, the impact of our work together, what would it be? Think about this one carefully.
Let it be fun, easy, and fulfilling.
I
The
love
word
that.
is fulfilling.
I love it. I love it. Jennifer, anything else you want to add here? I just really appreciate you coming on, sharing your story,
Yeah.
sharing your experience with us about working with us. It's a true pleasure to work with you and help you spread your work and your words. So thank you so much.
Well, thank you. And you know, I was bragging on Lindsay a lot, but I have to tell you guys, her team in the background is phenomenal. Like, they are kind and always so professional and just amazing. So I have had the best experience, and I really hope that you guys do too. I hope you come in and be a part of this world, because for me, like I said, it's been a game changer.
Awesome. Thank you,
All right.
Jennifer. Sure appreciate
Thank
you.
you. Yes, take care.
And